I'm not prepared. I do hope that got us past the usual advertising that may or actually may not have shown up in front of this video. I also hope that my sound and everything is fine. I'll be straight with you guys. I forgot that it was Tuesday. This period is very busy for my family because there's the run up to Christmas, and then because we were smart, we had a baby on the 28th of December. So everyone in my house who is above the age of 3 today is exhausted. But Clem had the day of days today. She had a ball. She was smiling and happy, and she was sitting on my lap and then curled up on me, and I was carrying her around, and her mother was paying attention, and her sister was playing with her, and she got some cool gifts, some cool snacks. She had a Peppa Pig cake that took mostly her mom, but also her sister and I until very late last night to get finished. So I am having tea because tea is a good drink. Please let me know if you cannot hear me. If the sound is off, I'm going to be really embarrassed. I'm just going to check and see who I'm saying hi to tonight. Oh, however, first I will get the usual house cleaning out of the way. 2 things. If you are watching us tomorrow or next week or whatever, then thank you very much. You're my personal hero. I appreciate that massively. And I will also say that if at any point tonight you like what you're seeing, this guy works. If you don't like what you're seeing, that works as well. Okay. I also want to say that I have a a gluten-free beer tonight. Not for any reason. It was gifted to me. It's a stout. It's millet and corn. Gluten-free craft brewery, Glutenberg. Or if we were speaking in Swedish, that would be Glutenberry. But we're not speaking Swedish, are we? Millet and corn beer. I wonder if gluten-free beer is any good. I hope it is. I'm going to open that very soon. I will pour it. If Serge joins us, I will blow the pour. If he doesn't, it'll be a good pour. So let's just see who's with us, who's hanging. David Evans was the first one here tonight. Nice to see you, Canadian. Hi. Oh, yeah, it must be Tuesday. Oh, yeah. So, A, I forgot it was Tuesday. And B, that camera was over there because I used it to shoot a video that I am hoping to have up by Friday. Bit of a rush to get here, guys. So I was a little late, and I'm deeply sorry about it. There's Grace, reminding you all to hit that thumbs up. I appreciate that massively. Grace. So far, it's Tenenbaum is here. If it's Tuesday, this must be Raindance Bushcraft. Yep, I totally forgot that it was Tuesday. And there's Russell. It almost wasn't Tuesday, he says. He is probably referring to the fact that he reminded me that, well, I was like, oh, it's Tuesday. And then bing. And there was a message from him saying, so are you going live tonight or what, Holmes? Except I guess where Tenenbaum is, it's already Wednesday. You know what I'm going to do? Just as off chance. I keep hitting the wrong keys because this is Windows, guys. Schnitzel. Doing a few things just in the off chance. Oh, crumbs. Those of you who just received my my text, ignore what I just did. I should have done this before, but as I said, late rushed, buggering the whole thing. So everyone's just sort of saying hi to each other. Long's Quest, how's it going? Linda's here. Nice. Carol's here. Hi. Crucy does gardening and stuff. Nice to see you. I'm rethinking my garden for this upcoming summer. So seeing your name pop up reminds me of that. I'm going to be turning a very, very small corner of my backyard into a corner of some native plants. Like there's a couple of blueberry bushes I'm going to put in, and some like native ferns or whatever. I just want to see if I can really get the bird population up in my backyard. Right now it's doing quite well due to my bird feeders. But Tyler, how's it going? You know what I'm going to do tonight for my whiskey? Tyler and I have been talking about whiskey lately, and he just picked up a bottle of the Aberlour 16. So in honor of him, since he's online, I'm going to have Aberlour 12 tonight, later on. In fact, I should pour that because something I forgot to say to you, Tyler, is that those of us who are whiskey anoraks, oh, piss, I forgot to bring down a glass. Okay, so if at some point anyone else comes on screen, I will sneak upstairs, grab a glass, and come running back down. So never mind. What I was going to tell you, though, is there's a rule of thumb, is that you pour your dram and you let it sit a minute in the glass per year in the cask. So if this is a 12-year-old, I would pour the dram and just let it sit there for 12 minutes before drinking. That is not a hard and fast rule. It's a guideline. You know, if you let it sit for 10 minutes, it's probably going to be okay. But whiskey is a very sort of old school, old-fashioned, old philosophy beverage. I know. Russell says to just chug from the bottle. One does not bottle pull scotch. One bottle pulls bourbon. Because bourbon is Harley Davidson's and scotch is Ducati's. Such a terrible thing to say. But I kind of thought it was funny, so I'm going to, okay, what do we got here? Hey, Sam Jackson. How's it going, man? You've got a really good bottle of whiskey, apparently. Well, not apparently. I've seen it. In fact, I just used my bottle of that whiskey for a Facebook Live I did today. I made a beverage. I made a cocktail called the Semester Abroad. It's 2 ounces of like 50% ABV rye, like a Rittenhouse. I don't have anything 50%. I just have that bottled. That Sam and I have the Alberta Premium, the cask strength at 63.1. Rats, I didn't bring the bottle back down with me. So 2 ounces of the rye, 1 ounce of orange curacao, or also known as dry curacao, and then a half ounce of Fernet Branca. Very tasty. Very good. That's on my personal Facebook page, not the Raindance Bushcraft one. Yeah, no, Linda, I know. We don't plant tulips in the back. There are tulips in the front sometimes, depending on how the squirrels are feeling. Nice. You had 5 blue jays at your feeders. We saw a couple a few months ago, and then nothing. Hike with Mike in the house. How's it going? Yeah, good. Yeah, as Russell says, he likes to let his beer sit 15 seconds before drinking. You just got to let it air out a little bit. Aerate. Chris is also trying to figure out what to plant in the garden. You know what I'm doing this year? I know I'm going way lighter on the tomatoes. Every year we grow like little, what are they? Cherry tomatoes, the little guys. And every year we plant way too many. I'm going to plant like 1 or 2 this upcoming summer. And then I'm going to, because what happened was they just, and they crowded out my peppers. And this year, we didn't really have time to stay on top of the garden like we have in years past. So like in years past, I would have pruned out some of the plants before they started bearing fruit. Because yeah, I definitely want. Now, problem with the peppers is the squirrels have been, treating themselves to a high class organic food in the form of my peppers, which is why this year I'm going to grow ghost peppers. I actually grew ghost peppers this past year as well. David did a sidecar. I also did a Facebook live of a sidecar this year as well. I do a lot of that on my Facebook page. I try cocktails for the first time as a little live. I'm trying to do anything I can to get videos up and out without having to do a whole lot of editing due to the boring ass problem I keep whinging about. So that's why I've got, I'm going kind of heavy on the TikToks, the YouTube shorts, stuff like that. Cause I just, hey guys, how's it going? Boop, up it goes. And I'm still creating some content. Mark is ici. Salut, monsieur. Simon aussi. Salut les boys. Comment ça va? Russell is pleased that Sam has popped up from the abyss. Ian, how's it going? Excuse me. Crucy had planted about 5 different types of tomatoes last year. Maybe not so many types for this coming year. Do you do any like heirloom varieties of anything? There you go. There's the answer of what is in the sidecar: cognac, orange liqueur, and lemon juice. In fact, I bought cognac and the orange curacao I have for the video, the live where I did the sidecar, and that was something that someone had requested. Hi, Kelly Simmons. How's it going? Welcome to the live stream. We're sort of just in the first part where I'm saying hi to everyone who's saying hi to everyone. Talking about I just did my housekeeping, reminding everyone to blah, blah, blah. Oh, they were all heirloom tomatoes. Nice. Very nice, Crucy. So yeah, because I forgot that it was Tuesday and I'm not really prepared. I have a couple of things that maybe we could talk about. One is we sort of started. You know what? I'm going to pour myself a little beer, a little of this gluten-free beer. No idea what to expect. The reason I was gifted this is I was gifted 2 beer because I had to do a last-minute run to the South Shore. Some of you know, some of you don't. Montreal is an island. Just up north of us, there's an island. There's another island that the city of Laval is on. Then there's a North Shore. And then across the St. Lawrence from us, the other way is the South Shore. And I had to do a last-minute errand, 40-minute drive away to the South Shore to some cousins to deliver something. And so in thanks, they bought me 2 cans of beer while I was on the road. One was this Glutenberg. The other is not a gluten-free beer, but it's like 10%. And I do not want to get 3 sheets to the wind while live streaming. So it's a nice stout look. Smells like beer. A little sour. Doesn't really, not a lot of head to talk about, to discuss, to write home about. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Okay, so it's got like the espresso notes that you get with a lot of stouts, and especially with a lot of porters. Hint of chocolate, definitely, as you often get more. Yeah, you get it with stout as well. Like the sweet notes tend to happen more in porter than in stouts. Maybe a touch of molasses, but there's a sour note there that I'm not used to in a beer that dark. It's not bad. But man, the bubbles disappeared fast. It's not flat, but it sure ain't what I'm used to. The espresso note is very big on it, though. I like it. I like that espresso note. Grace says, I refer to tomato harvest time as BLT season. That is an excellent. She's answering this question that I just popped up from Simon. How many tomato sandwiches do you need to make use of one cherry tomatoes per sandwich for a meal? No. What we often do is we make this cherry tomato and bocconcini salad, like the tiny bocconcini, cut them in half, mix them all up, throw some oil, some balsamico on there, rip up some leaves of basil. Delish. Absolutely delish. Now, Tyler, do you want me to reference? Do you want me to acknowledge at all what you just said here, or not? Okay, we're just gonna move past this. Tyler, I dropped you a link in case you wanted to come on and have a little whiskey with us. I talk a lot about what to drink when you're in the woods, when you're camping or whatever. And I Tannenbaum.
Good evening.
How's it going?
Pretty good. How about you?
I'm tired, man.
Sounds like it's been a fun day, though.
Yeah, the prep has been epic, but it's been a fun day. Because of the plague, we really weren't sure what this season was going to be like, and we kind of had a bit of an inkling last season, but we weren't shut down as hard as we are right now. But it's been great, because I said this to someone, and I don't remember who. So if I'm boring you guys, like if I'd said this to you guys, then just tell me to shut up. But the missus and I were both going into this season like, oh, the family traditions we're not going to get to do this year, and all the things, the time-honored things that we've always done. And the poor kids. The kids didn't give a shift. The kids had a great time. Those two girls played with each other. They had snacks. They had all of our attention. The older one was aware that she wasn't surrounded by her cousins, but she wasn't moping, right? And so we could really ride on their energy, and it really got us through. And then today, it was a tiny ass birthday. There was 4 of us: mommy, daddy, sister, birthday girl. But it was still a great day. She had a blast. She doesn't. Neither of our kids have spent decades with traditions to miss.
Kids are really good at living in the now.
Yeah.
We form all these expectations and then agonize over them. But kids are like, well, this is what's happening.
Yeah, exactly.
Kids we could all learn
the best of it.
Yeah, we could all learn.
Yeah, I think you're right. Do you like my new Fjällräven shirt that I got for Christmas? By the way,
I was going to say earlier, you may not have been speaking Swedish, but I bet your shirt is.
Oh, man, so nice, so not something I ever thought I was going to own. So
very
I'm really
nice.
happy.
Yes.
Yeah. How was your? They call it Yule there, right?
Yes, it is. I had a God Yule. It was very nice.
I watched a video today. My mama sends me, she watches this Icelandic kind of news channel on YouTube, and she sent me this video that I was going to forward to, and I ran out of time today. It was one of their personalities explaining like Christmas culture in Iceland, and it's amazing how like there are the Yule boys and like their mother and father who are all these like monsters, and there's the Yule cat who like eats dirty children or children, children who are dirty or don't have new clothes for Christmas. So it's essentially poor kids, right? And I was thinking about how much of northern Europe have guys like Krampus.
Yeah.
And like there's like this, here comes Santa Claus, here comes Krampus. And it's like it's something that you don't get in the Americanized Christmas that we have here. Well, we say Americanized, but it's based on Victorian England. The way Victorian England took Christmas and boom, like when they brought sort of pomp and circumstance back into religion, right? From the sort of stark Protestantism to how Anglicanism is essentially Catholicism, but without a pope, and how suddenly Christmas became this big thing. The gifts, the decorations, the trees, the blah blah blah. But we don't have someone slinking along behind Santa Claus to eat the bad children or whatever it is. I find it interesting.
Yeah, a lot of the other traditions have sort of the good side and the bad side, and that's sort of got, well, I don't know, whitewashed out of the North American style, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, in the Netherlands, they have Zwart Piet, which is a big part of their deal. And,
Black Piet, absolutely.
Yeah, Black Peter. And here we don't really have Santa Claus. We have Tomte.
Yeah.
And Tomte has been sort of Santa Claus-ified over time, but in other contexts, Tomte is like a gnome. They're like small.
Mm-hmm.
They're not one big guy. And they're mischievous and they're magical. And sure, they'll bring you gifts today, but they might do something. They might steal something tomorrow. It's
right.
It's a different thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So I watched this today, and like she sent it to me last week or something, and I just got time. I was taking a little downtime today, and I watched it. I was just.
I actually don't know much about Iceland's traditions except to say that Iceland is an island, which means that they sort of, just as is the case with biology, culturally they evolve separately from everyone. So they just have their own. I'm sure they have their own things.
It seems like it. It definitely seems like it. Am I missing anything in the side chat? You seem to be better at spotting this stuff than I am.
Try to read both. Raspberry Rock points out, huge news, you're tired. Well, there you go. Film at 11.
I don't know why the hell we had a kid this close to Christmas. So like
Fab Online is here. Nice to see you.
Hey, Fab. Yes, I see it. I see. Hi, Fab. Could finally stay up on a Tuesday. So, of course, Russell says, why don't we end early? Because I think Fab and Hike both get up early, usually. You know who's not here? Outdoor Dauber. What's up with that guy?
I'm sure he's just eating something delicious, and that's just interfering with his ability to be here.
Or he's buying some like extremely underpriced piece of treasure.
That's right. He's buying a plum axe for $5 at a flea market.
For those of you who don't know, Outdoor Dauber has a knack. Would you say it's a knack, or is it magic?
I think it's a combination of skill and location, which is to say he's sort of in that part of the Rust Belt where there's been people and stuff for a long time, and there's lots of good old stuff rolling around.
Yeah.
And he knows where to find it.
Yeah, and he does know where to find it, yeah. Whereas here in Montreal, if you're looking for like some good old axe heads, if you go to any of the usual flea markets, everyone knows what those things are worth now. So you have to go really far afield. Like there's nowhere around Montreal where you can still find the $5 plum axe head, you know? But we do live really close to Maine. So one of these summer vacations, I'm going to take a jaunt because a lot of people here, they cross the border to buy antiques and stuff, because even after you've paid your dues at the border, you can still find some stonking deals. But I'm not here to tell you guys about antiques. Ron is here. How's it going? Nice to see your name in the side chat. I'm going to take another sip here. Hey, here's something that you guys might have opinions on. Here's something I kind of asked the missus for Christmas, just because why not? Bear bells.
Ooh.
Because I've had a couple of not run-ins, but things that could have become really close encounters. And so I'm thinking that maybe this would be a good way to not need like a shotgun or bear spray.
I always wore one when I was in Alberta or BC. Okay. I've never felt like in Ontario it was something I needed, because unless you know that there's a predatory black bear around, your chances of having a problem are pretty low.
Yeah. Yeah.
On the other hand, if you're in grizzly country, that's another game.
What I was about to ask, because you said Alberta and BC, I was going to say, like, so is it a black bear versus brown bear?
I think mostly. And from what I actually haven't got a policy for where I am now, although from what I hear, the brown bears here try really hard to stay away from people because they tend to die when they see people. So I'm not too scared of the European brown bear.
But that's not the same as the grizzly, though, is it?
Well, genetically they're quite similar, but behaviorally and phenotypically they're quite different. You're right.
Okay. I don't know what the hell I just dropped, but anyway, I'll just get past it. Hey, up north is 60 in the house. How's it going, mister? Nice to see your name popping up. You've been doing some videos again lately, I see. Making me wish I was somewhere other than where I am. Hike with Mike says he prefers bear spray over bells. Now, the reason I've been thinking about this is because I haven't done anything recently, dude. I've been stuck in my house for months, but relatively recently I went to Mountain Equipment Co-op when I was supposed to be going on a canoe trip like in May. And I was gonna start that sentence again. And I was gonna pick up some bear spray, and all of the bear spray models that they had for sale were not on the shelves, and the display ones, which are like non-working and they're zip stripped to the display plaque, they all said they were recalled. And so I was like, wow, okay, what's going on there? And then I forgot about it, but I just recently thought I'm going to make like a New Year's resolution to hit the woods in 2022 as soon as the plague leaves us alone. So I need something. And because I was under the gun, like my wife was like, I need a Christmas list, dude, like yesterday. So I just went to Lee Valley and threw these on the list. Because I figured that, I've had good luck with making a whole lot of noise to avoid like a run-in with bears before. I don't know if it's 100% trouble-free though. But I figure that if I have these and like I have a bear spray strapped on somewhere, because I don't have a shotgun, dude. Like I never did the kind of hunting that called for a shotgun. I never went grouse. I never went turkey. I never went bear or whatever. And I'm not going to carry a piece in the woods. It's not something that a lot of people I know do. You know, I know a lot of people down south do it. But there's a cultural shift when you get up here, and not a lot of people carry heat when they're in the woods. I don't really want to be one of them. That's all I'm going to say about
my goal is always to avoid the problem. And from my point of view, wearing the bell is, if I'm going to be alone and I'm not going to make a lot of noise and I'm not going to talk to myself, at least it's a way for me to have a little bit of a sound signature.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to accidentally creep up on something that I don't want to creep up on.
Yeah, you don't want to surprise one.
Yeah. If you're in a group where you're talking with people, it's not as big an issue. If you're making noise, it's not as big an issue. It's really, if you're by yourself and you don't tend to make a lot of noise.
Right. Linda says she saw a baby bear last summer near Sturgeon Falls. I hope that you backpedaled your ass right the hell out of there as soon as you saw that. Russell says, and this is an interesting thing because, okay, he says he has a bear bell on Willow's collar, but always forgets to put it on her. But not too worried about bears, more worried about porcupines. My experience with dogs in the woods really echoes that. There's like, we've had to pull those what are those pins called?
Quills
from the snout of dogs many a time, and we've almost never had an issue with bears. But like I'm with you, Tenenbaum. I'm someone who likes to make noise when I'm in the woods if I don't know the area at all, or if it's not like a campsite. You know, like I say, if I'm in a campsite where there's clearings with tents and stuff, I'm going to be as quiet as I can because I don't want to be disturbing people. But I mean, if I'm like in the woods, I'll try to make some noise. I'll try to, you know, I'm not exactly singing top 40 or anything, but I'm definitely not trying to be quiet. Just taking a look at Ron is playing party poker and sipping whiskey. Life is good. I'll be with you on the whiskey a little later.
For a last resort, I've always wanted one of those bear banger setups, but I've never had one.
Yeah, I've never had one either. I used to have a blank gun. You know, like a blank pistol.
A starter pistol.
Yeah. But no longer. I'm just taking a look. Russell says that these bells seem really loud. I think they probably are. What do you think? Like, they're pretty loud for me here.
I think they're hitting the sweet spot of your mic very nicely.
So you think they're bugging Russell?
Maybe a little.
I shouldn't be doing this anymore? Okay, Russell, I'll stop doing this, okay? I'm such a brat. Such a jerk.
You're a bad, bad man.
You're a bad, bad man. And the pop culture references start popping out. Just taking a look to make sure. Okay, everyone's discussing the phenotype thing.
Sorry, I let out my my inner scientist there for a moment. I'll try to keep him stored away.
Well, actually, you sparked conversation, so I think it's all good. Oh, I see. Okay, she was in the truck. Yeah, exactly. Where there's a baby, there's a mama. Unless something tragic has happened. Hike says, if I do a solar, right? Solar. If I do a solo overnight, I eat a big meal before I hike and don't bring in any food for the trip. Food is the main attractant with bears. Yes, my one really close example, encounter with a bear, which ended up with a shredded tent, was because I was a stupid kid who brought a sandwich into his tent. Dave is packing his 870 90% of the time. Is that a function of like how remote you are? Like, I also think what's the biggest example of bear that not biggest example guys, I'm having a really hard time with the English tonight, man. What species or which phenotype of bear do you come up against most often around where you are? Because here it's like those little black bears, right? Very seldom are they aggressive. They will do almost anything to get the hell away. Whereas in BC, which is where I ended up with a shredded tent, not the same thing. We're talking about a whole different ball of wax. I think that if I camped there, I would maybe be more geared towards having a shoddy with me. But here it's like it's overkill. The bear attacks are so rare that there's no need. Okay, there's a good point that Russell's making, though. You're right. I the noisier I am, the less wildlife I tend to see. Absolutely.
It's definitely a trade-off.
Yeah. Yeah, it absolutely. You got that right, sister. A Canadian also packs heat in the woods. Okay, this is literally the second conversation I've ever been in where a Canadian has said they pack heat, and I think maybe it's because of the geography difference. Because around here it's in hunting season, yeah. We did pack heat when a bear had been in the area of our hunt camp and had done some damage. We went up to do repairs, and we brought one just in case. We fortunately did not have to use it because he had already, I guess, moved on or something, but we didn't see him at all that weekend. And he never came back. The camp was in great condition for the rest of the season. We have unfortunately lost that camp because the property owner went and died on us. And so I haven't been hunting in like 6 years. Mark was paddling a tandem kayak in northern BC on a smaller shallow creek off a 100-foot wide river. Baby brown bears ashore. Whoops. We never did see Mom. Oh, the worst feeling. The worst feeling is seeing a baby bear and like, where the hell is Mom? Because if Mom is there, first of all, you need new pants. If you get home, you need new pants. Come on, Russell. You can just put that back in there. You just put that back in the box. And you can just send it. Yeah, there's an interesting question, too. If you have a shoddy for bear defense, are you throwing slugs in there, or?
Yeah, well, up north is 60 answers shortly below. And I mean,
okay.
This is one of the other reasons why, for me, I don't. Well, there's a lot of reasons why I wouldn't go that way, but there's always the danger of you're not carrying enough to actually do any real damage.
I remember when we went. Yeah, wow, we're going way into gun talk here. Let's take this offline until after the show. Anyone who's in the green room, we can have this discussion. Sam says raccoon bears here.
Yes, here they're actually called a raccoon in Swedish is a tvattbjörn, which is a wash bear.
Oh, because they wash their food.
They do that thing.
They do the whole.
Yeah.
Tim, hey Tim, doesn't worry about bears. Though you've seen a baby from a distance, I worry about mountain lions. Yeah, where I have seen a baby bear. Nah. Where I've seen a baby bear. Is this working? Where I have seen a baby bear near me, and about crap my drawers knowing Mama was near. Yeah, absolutely. Because all bets are off. You know? Oh, wow. I'm so far behind in the chat. I'm just going to skip down and see. Sorry. Okay. Hey, Fox at Outdoors in the house. How's it going, Cliff? I don't necessarily think I'm going to buy this gluten-free beer again, but it's not bad.
It's an interesting choice. I know you didn't choose it.
Yeah.
Whoever did choose it, it's an interesting choice.
The other one that they gave me looks like the flavors are probably better, but at 10%, like I'm completely sober, but exhaustion is making this thing just not work properly, right? How often have I had to restart my sentences? Can you imagine this plus a 10% beer? I'd be swinging from the chandelier.
Maybe they'd cancel out. I don't know.
Well, okay, maybe. Maybe. Up north, Dave does say that it's mostly black bears in his immediate area, but if he goes a little further north, polar, brown, and grizzly, yeah.
I mean, a polar bear is the whole other game.
That's polar bears.
Explicit man eater. You gotta.
Yeah.
You gotta be careful there.
I'd like to see one day, though. I mean, I've said to Dave in the green room before that I'm just dying to see the north, but maybe in like May. October, like maybe not in January.
Mm.
And probably not in the middle of black fly season either, you know. But just, and I feel I had an opportunity when my brother lived in Yellowknife, but didn't do it. Didn't have the money
I have never made it to the territories. I've gotten close, but I've never made it.
Yeah, I've never been up there. I want to see it one day. Let me finish this beer before we're going back to the tea.
I was going to say, along the lines of you mentioned your MEC trip. I applied to be an intern on a very nice research project. I bought myself a really nice pair of boots, and I decided to take somebody else. I still have the boots though, so there you go.
Well, hey, if you got a really good pair of boots out of it, then it's all win, right?
Yeah, it turned out real well because I have like many people, I have 2 feet that ideally are different sizes, and I found a pair of boots that were mismatched just for me. It was like the luckiest day of my life.
Amazing. I often think that they should sell them. How do I say this? Like they should sell them
like bespoke, so you can get exactly what you want.
Yeah.
In fact, professional hockey players get this. They'll get 2 skates that are different sizes. They'll get the exact right skate for each foot in terms of width and length. It's very fancy.
Now imagine if you walked into MAC or REI or whatever, and in the back store, instead of having pairs of boots in boxes, they have like a bin of size 9.5, a bin of size 8.5, left, right, blah, blah, blah. And that they brought out the 2 shoes that fit you perfectly, both feet.
I've often wondered if there are rich people who buy 2 pairs of everything and then throw half of them out so they can have perfect shoes.
If you're that rich, you're probably getting bespoke shoes.
Yeah. I don't know if you can get I guess maybe you get bespoke hiking boots. I don't know. There's some things that I don't imagine they make them easily.
If you got money, you can have anything.
I suppose.
I don't have money, so I can't get anything. I can get some things. But, I do have to kind of make do
pick and
with.
Choose. Pick and choose.
Yeah, sure. Pick and choose. Exactly. Absolutely. I was thrilled. Linda says, I was thrilled when I saw 2 young female moose a couple of weeks ago. Never saw a moose in my life. They are majestic in certain contexts, and they look really stupid in other contexts. Have you ever seen like a moose running along the side of a highway? As graceful as a dying gazelle. They're all like, it's like, how is this working?
The other thing is that if you find yourself not too far away, you can easily get the amazing impression of just how massive they can be.
Big.
They can be just huge.
Yep. Amazingly, I have come upon moose on several occasions, but never on a moose hunting trip, shall we say. Because, of course. But yeah, like I do find it like if they're wading out into a lake and chowing down on some stuff, they look much, much more graceful. Like because they're just sort of gliding, kind of really crazy, huge creatures.
In a way, they're well adapted to the forest. They can move through small brush quite easily because their legs are so long. They've got good reach, so they can reach green vegetation even if it's reasonably high up.
Yeah.
Pretty well adapted to their environment.
Yeah. I just want to point out something that Sam Jackson was saying to Dave. If any of you here, it's weird to say this about a bigger channel because chances are if you know me, you know Dave. But if any of you haven't visited Up North of 60, that stuff is way, way, way worth your time. Get over there right after we're done here and watch some vids and then subscribe. I mean, I'm not going to force you, but if you like good videos, get your ass over there. Oh, no. Cruci says, the only moose I saw was hit by a car many years ago. My dad lost a friend once because they were booting along somewhere on motorcycles and came whipping around a corner, and there was a moose standing in the road, and his friend just hit it right in the middle. Apparently took it in half or whatever, but the guy was it was over. Guy was dead.
They're tall enough that they tend to get up above the front of your car and hit the windshield quite neatly.
And they just roll into.
That's a lot of weight.
I do not speed when I'm out in the woods. In the woods, you know what I'm saying? When I'm booting the 401 or something.
I was on a bus that hit a moose once.
Oh wow! I bet you that did some damage.
Made quite a dent. Quite a dent. The driver could not continue. He was shaken.
Yes. Where was this?
I was taking the bus south from Manitouwadge, Ontario, back home to Toronto. This was after a tree planting season.
Okay.
It was a good 20 years ago.
Yeah. Well.
Someone near Wawa is the answer.
Fair enough. I like what Canadian says here. I saw a moose driving through Algonquin Park. I take it he means he was driving through Algonquin Park. It was about 300 yards out. So I guess it's in the vicinity of 300 meters, right? Just trying to visualize. And it looked like a couch floating across the swamp.
A couch with antlers, possibly.
I love that image. Hi, Shawnee. I've never put myself in a position to see large wildlife. I visited a bison range, hoping to get into deeper woods someday. Bison are pretty majestic, too. They are freaking big, man. I've never seen one out in the wild, but there's one of those like nature parks that you drive through and you stick carrots out the window, and they have a herd of bison. And in fact, last time we were there was some Yahoo in an F-150, because of course, and he was just, there was a mother and her young'un, the bison, I mean. And this guy was just creeping up on the young'un, and the mother sort of stopped and was clearly warning him off. And he just was not listening, just creeping up on the back of this young'un. So the mom just, you know what, I've had enough of you. Boom! Popped his driver's side mirror off. Somehow didn't destroy the windows. I don't know. Maybe it was just a warning shot or something, but pop. So he stopped. And he waited.
The one place you can see bison in Europe is actually in Poland. They have a herd of the now very rare European bison that they preserve there. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I hope to see that sometime.
Yeah. Hike with Mike says, knock on wood as I say this, I've never hit any animal at all while driving in my life, thank God. One night, 2, 3 in the morning, we were driving through New Brunswick. And when I say we, I'm talking about my band, did a very mini Eastern Canada tour, like mini, somewhere on Prince Edward Island, and then 2 towns in New Brunswick, one an English town and one a French town, like Shediac or something. We never even got to Halifax. We never got to Newfoundland. It was just this real small thing. So we're cruising through New Brunswick. It's blackout, and a couple of deer bound across the street, the highway right in front of us. And I'm sitting in the passenger side, and I'm like, and the guitar player, he just dekes and just misses him. In fact, he thinks that he just caught the very, like, the toe or whatever of one of the does as she bounded away. So we pulled over to see if there was a doe like lying in the ditch or something. There was nothing there. And I remember this so clearly, man, because I'm someone who likes to look up. It's like we're looking around, we got the lights out, no doe. Okay, we're good. And I just glance up, and man, because it's a dark sky zone and it's a clear night, it was a kingdom of magic above us. Like, you know how from, I don't know about Sweden, but here in Montreal or Toronto, Vancouver, New York, Chicago, all these cities, if you look up and you're lucky enough to see the Milky Way, it's like this faint smudge across the sky. It sure as hell is not that when you're in a dark sky zone.
No, when you get away from the light pollution, it's a whole other thing. It's amazing.
It was. I literally, and I don't say this in the Gen Z version. I mean, I literally, as in this happened, fell on my arse. Blissed out, gosh, wow. Just, but that's the only time I've ever come close to really taking out wildlife in my car. We were driving my car. So, but yeah, that sky was something else. And it's funny because when I'm in the gas bay, when I used to go moose hunting, one of the missus's cousins has a tree farm out there, so we would hunt in this tree farm, and dark sky zone, absolutely. And he never looked up. He used to think, he was sort of looked at me with bemusement when he saw me. Like, he just never looked up. When you grow up with something, it's so hard to appreciate what you got. Yeah. Whether that's epic forest or epic sky, like big sky, or yeah. I would love to think that if I lived out there, I would appreciate what I'm surrounded by. And I don't know, if you grow up with it, maybe not. I don't know.
We seldom appreciate what we already have.
Yeah. Until it's gone. Canadian says, I saw Cape Buffalo once in Texas. Hal told me, be careful, don't get too close. It was known for flipping trucks over. It weighed around 2,400 pounds. Yeah. Yeah, I would treat that with respect. Normal birds don't follow the laws of normal driving behavior, regardless of how careful one drives. Oh, I guess we're hearing from someone who took out a couple of birds across the windshield. Wait, Canadian has also been chased by a 400-pound ostrich. Okay. How the hell? Fair enough. Simon says, a few years ago, a young moose decided to validate his strength against an unknown opponent. He lost, but was very close to win. I was driving a Hyundai Accent 2001 at the time. I guess we know who the opponent was. Hold on, I'm just taking a look down the side chat here because
there is a 2 out of 2. You wait for it.
I'm looking for it. Oh, there it is. My insurer decided that my car was fixable. 2 weeks later, I had it back. That car had its original motor, transmission, driving gear, and muffler. It was scrapped after 580,000 kilometers. Holy crumbs, dude. Hi, Russell.
Good evening.
Hello. Hey. Good to see you guys.
Got any plans for the New Year's Eve?
Oh, are you kidding?
Yeah. He'll give you 3 guesses.
And the first 2 don't count. I'm someone who doesn't even like New Year's. So the idea of not doing anything for New Year's is very, very attractive to me. But since you guys are both on, I'm just going to run upstairs and get a glass for my whiskey. So I'll be back in like 2.5 minutes. All right?
I think you're muted again, Russ. No? Well, I can't hear you. Huh. Perhaps this is one of those silent films.
Hello?
There you are. You're back.
That was weird. It just came up and said your browser has lost connection with your mic.
It's very strange.
Yeah, I was going to tell my story of hitting a deer with my minivan. It's kind of funny. I was
Go for it.
driving along one night, and this doe runs across the road right in front of me. I went, holy crap, that was really close. And then I hit the buck chasing it, right? He just bounced off the fender and went into the ditch. And I'm like, oh, geez. So I parked my van and took a look at the damage. It wasn't much damage. I didn't really hit him that hard, but I went over to the ditch and he's struggling in the ditch, right? He couldn't get up, and I thought, oh, damn. And I thought, well, I was just on my way home from work kind of thing. I don't have a gun on me or anything. So I called the cops to say, there's a deer in the ditch here. You need to come and shoot the thing. And this was out in the boonies too, so it wasn't like near the city. And as I'm waiting for the cops to show up, because I know how to butcher a deer. If it's going to damage my car, I'm taking that thing home. And while I was waiting, I look over and the deer's dead. Like, it didn't last very long. I thought, oh, okay. So I'm in my minivan. I'm looking around for a light. All I found is, those baseball cap lights that you can clip on. And I'm like, okay, good. And I've got a knife. It's like the dullest knife in the world. I'm like, okay. So I get down in the ditch. And you can't see. The ditches are really deep where I was. So you couldn't see anything up on the road. I'm just down there. And I had the lights on in my van, but it was useless. So I'm down there working away. And when you hit a deer like that, it's messy inside. I don't want to get too gross here. It's really messy inside because of the damage.
Got a glass.
And I was about 15 minutes into this, and I see the police car lights up on the road. So I'm like, oh, okay. So I go up there, and the cop's like looking around with his flashlight because he doesn't know where I am. And I come out of the ditch.
So here's a guy with a knife covered in gore.
With a knife, blood all up my arms. I'm like, hey. The guy's like, whoa. But he was pretty chill. He works out in the boonies as well. He didn't think anything weird was going on. But he's like, you gotta take this somewhere else and do it, because you can't leave your van on the side of the road like that. And I said, well, what am I gonna do? So I had to take it to my buddy's place that wasn't far away and finish the job. But anyway, I got him in my freezer.
All's well that ends well, except for him.
Yeah.
C'est la vie.
And I never got my fender fixed either.
Thanks for running interference for me, guys, while I ran upstairs and got a glass.
I see you got some munchies as well?
No munchies.
Oh,
I should have, though. I should have.
I thought you were eating something there.
No, I was blowing my nose.
So hopefully he wasn't eating.
Do either of you guys have one of these? One of these little sharpeners?
No. That's a sharpener?
Yeah. The missus gave it to me for Christmas. It's called a universal sharpener.
One of these.
Nice. Not quite the same, though.
He's really proud of this, Jess.
Yeah, were you? Now, the can was created years and years before the can opener was.
Yes.
So you just hit the can with a rock until it...
Well, they use a knife. I think it was a military thing. So they just pull out their knife and just start banging around the top.
But I think you can probably turn it upside down and run it across concrete or something until you wear down the rim.
I've heard that.
So did the military invent the can opener? That P58 can opener? Is that
think
yeah?
so.
Okay.
I'll look it up now.
I can't. Yeah, I was gonna say I can't back that up though. Is Tyler still here?
Wikipedia.
I sent Tyler the link because because whiskey. But if he's not here anymore, then I should have chosen a different whiskey. Damn it, Tyler. You gotta do this to me. So are we right? I know he's looking it up.
It was... Preservation of food using tin cans has been practiced since at least 1772 in the Netherlands. The first can openers were not patented until 1855 in England and 1858 in the United States. These early openers were basically variations of a knife, though the 1855 design continues to be produced.
I think I know which one that is. It's the one with the thing that looks like a little hook on it.
The first can opener consists of a now familiar sharp rotating cutting wheel that runs around the can's rim, invented in 1870. Okay, so around the time of World War II, several can openers were developed for the military use, such as the American P-38 and P-51.
Wait, P-38 and P-51. What's the difference between those two?
I don't know.
One
There's
of
a link for
bigger.
the P-38, but there isn't for the P-51. Now you know.
And knowing is half the battle.
Oh, I did P-38
Generation
versus
X right here.
P-51, and it's giving me fighter jets.
Yeah.
Oh, P-51 is just a bigger
Okay.
P-38.
I think I have a couple of P-38s. Cruci, by the way, says that you just rub it against cement if you don't have a can opener. Yeah. I think...
Then, does it end up all over the cement then?
No, because you're not rubbing it until it's open. You just rub it... Yeah, I guess you have to try to slip something under it and flip it over. Everyone is agreeing with you. P-51 is larger. Mark Gray says P-51 is larger. Mark says difference is size. I was about to say something really stupid there. About how...
Why stop now?
What do you mean? I don't get it. What are you talking about, Russell? Great big jerk.
Sorry, it was automatic. I didn't think about it.
I was about to just blah, but I stopped myself. See how I stopped myself? Oh,
Hey,
wow.
you know that this can is not a normal can, but it has a little tab for opening it on the back.
Oh, I didn't know they still did those. That's cool. I have memories of camping canned goods that have that little key on them.
I have a bunch of canned corned beef that comes with those as well.
Yeah. Now I'm feeling all reminiscent and stuff, man. Like I'm back in the 70s again. 5 years old, first camping trip. Get the metal curled around it. So where'd you get that, Russell?
Grocery
And
store.
why is it on your desk?
What do you have on your desk? You jerk.
Alcohol?
I have food on my desk.
Oh, I also, because I knew that we were live streaming tonight, I have one of these on my desk.
You know, I don't have any knives on my desk.
And I have this. I like to be prepared for any conversation that may come up.
I thought you were going to say I like to be able to start a fire on my desk at any moment in case I should need to.
Just in case I need to burn down my house for any reason.
Yeah, I get. I showed you this a little while back, but I've got this near my desk. The little.
Oh yeah.
Spoony forky thingy. I'm not sure what they're called.
Well, I see you've played Spoony Forky before. Knifey Spoony before.
There's a part. There we go. Yeah.
I wonder how meta Tenenbaum and I can make this live stream. If we can turn the rest of the stream into nothing but pop culture references. But no, if someone wants to talk about, using a fire steel, and I try to make some sparks or something to demonstrate. I like to be prepared in case I'm called on to disseminate knowledge, as those of my calling often are.
That'd be different. I mean, during one of your live streams. Am I wrong?
I don't even know, actually. Strangely.
Oh, Jess, I got another Christmas present. Take a look at this. The writing on it is really weird, but...
Oh, Neuromancer. That is a straight-up legit classic of the genre.
Oh, yeah.
That book is something else.
I've listened to the audiobook probably 15 times, but I wanted a real version to put on the shelf.
Mine is broken at the spine and everything. Absolutely.
Probably the defining work of the cyberpunk genre.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah,
I was going to call it seminal, but I know that Russell hates it when I say that. Oh, I brought the wrong knife to this discussion. I just grabbed one of the Grumman box, and it's the kit. Well, good thing I don't have to demonstrate knife skills during this live stream.
Oh no!
Yeah, I was going to say you have some kind of monofilament blade that you can show us. Cyberpunk discussion.
I'd love to see that.
But you wouldn't see it.
No,
that's the magic of monofilament.
No, but if you hold it,
it could be a stack of them. Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
Maybe if you wave it back and forth, it'll look like I don't know.
I remember somewhere I have a in a knife set, the small one. What's it called? Utility knife? No, that's the second smallest, right? Paring knife? I don't know. It's a little useful size of knife. And somewhere I have one that's made of ceramic. And I remember when I bought that, I thought, I now live in a cyberpunk world.
The future has arrived. I have a ceramic knife.
Yeah, I have a ceramic knife. So now I will be walking everywhere knowing that I live in the future. I love it. We mentioned knives and look who shows up.
It's probably an alert. It wakes him up when the word is said.
Yeah, what's that app called? If this then that? IFFT? if whatever.
Yep,
He's probably got it set up like, if knives get mentioned on Jesse's live stream, ping me. Salut, monsieur, forgot. I love it. Serge, check your typos, man.
Autocorrect.
Are the wave of winter storms going to affect Canada? Fab Online asks, and I have no idea.
The answer is probably.
Yeah, most likely, but I haven't really checked much aside from today's weather in days. Serge has joined us now that I have not only poured the beer, but finished the beer, putting his girls to bed. Hi, Serge. Are we back? Okay, I'm just making sure we're caught up with the side chat because we're being so fabulous that it can be easy to forget the side chat. It's hard work being as fabulous as we are, but we got it. We got it covered.
Second nature now.
Absolutely. I also have this knife with me, so I'm covered. If I have to, show any knife skills, I'm all right. But seriously, why was that on your desk?
In case I needed it. Just like you, if we're going to talk about canned meat, I wanted to talk intelligently about it. Just disseminate some information.
If the conversation,
it's a multi-purpose survival item.
And if the conversation,
really hungry, he can eat it. He can club things with it.
Yeah,
it's reflective. He can use it to
signal planes.
Yeah,
I can play hockey with it. Yeah.
If the conversation takes a hard right turn into prepping and survival, then Russell is well prepped for that conversation.
Hard turn right. If for some reason we get off of our usual bullshit and actually talk about something practical and useful and relevant to this channel.
Hey, I have a knife here. I have a ferro rod here. Well, that was terrible. There we go. Now, it's a
Bushcraft. Will fly.
Sparks will fly. I don't want to do that too much because I don't want to burn a little hole into my monitor or anything.
I got a measuring tape.
Nice. I got a few of those too.
Yep, this could be a long conversation.
Oh God.
Not longer than 2 meters.
It's a mini. It's 6 feet. But it's perfect. I don't know how many times I'm at my desk and I'm I got to measure something, which is weird, right? Why would you be at your desk and have to measure something? So I'm always looking for something, and then I found this back in the city when we were cleaning out their old rental. And I'm like, this is perfect. This little 6-foot Stanley.
I carry around one of those too. It's awfully handy.
Oh yeah. I know it's not very long, but usually I'm trying to measure something here. Just I don't know. I don't even know what I'm measuring, but I'm always looking for one. This is the only thing I had before is my this stupid thing.
Yeah.
I guess you use it to measure your, I don't know,
Stuff.
your like neck size or your whatever.
Right.
Which is still good for that because it's bendy.
Right. Flexible, not made of metal. So.
Oh wait, hold on. Important question just came up.
Yes, I was about to pop that onto screen. It's a ham. It's a ham, Crucy.
Jambon.
Jambon.
They say
Gris shot.
Jumbo. Yes.
It's
Not shit. Oh wait.
4 grams.
Not
And the
is
best before-
beef.
I can't read this up. Best before date is May 2023. Yes. Oh, sorry, March 2023.
So, you can have lunch anytime between now and then and not have to worry about that.
Even after. It's best before that. It's okay after that.
It's probably good for another 10 years after that.
Yeah.
As long as you treat it with love and care.
Absolutely.
That's right. And keep it somewhere between 0 and 30 degrees.
Celsius?
Yeah, you wouldn't want to get it too hot, I don't think.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, hike with Mike. Oh, piss. Well, David Evans says, I've seen a few black bears near our place and they were running fast. The conversation shifted just as I clicked. Hike with Mike says, I found that if you sand down a piece of broken bottle, it makes an amazing striker for a ferro rod. In fact, I think it works better than metal.
Glass.
Glass is good. Glass is also, it's a really good way to sort of hone, especially like a Scandi knife, like along the top of your car window or something. If you just need to hone it, or you don't have any sharpening stuff, that can really work as a last ditch honing solution for your knife. Russell, you'll be pleased to know that Crucy approves of your choice of ham rather than spam. Spam. Stop it.
Lovely spam.
I knew it. As soon as I did that, I was like, I'm going to regret this. But I was like, can't get that back, can I? This is a good whiskey to do for live streams because it's only 40%. And it's not like a $200 bottle or anything.
Oh. Ooh, kind of liquidy rattly sounding.
Yeah.
That's how you know it's good.
Yeah. Because it's liquidy and rattly.
Oh yeah. Listen to that. Liquid
The rattle indicates freshness.
Liquid ham.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to open it and drink it.
Hey, Tenenbaum.
Yes, sir.
Being in Sweden, have you yet had what's it called? Surströmming?
I've had access to it. I'm not a big herring fan. My wife likes it a lot better than I do. There are a few varieties that I can handle, but some of them are just a little bit on the strong side for me. Yeah.
Can I eat herring? I can't eat any of the pink fish, any of the oily fish, but I can eat herring, right?
It's oily, but it's not a pink fish. It's a white oily fish.
Yeah, I can eat the white ones. Now,
then if you can stand the smell,
well, that's the thing I was going to say about surströmming is that I think that how bad does it really smell?
Well, there are a really wide range of different varieties. So, for example, the ones I like better tend to be smothered in some kind of creamy sauce, and then they don't smell so bad. But some of them are, more au naturel, and depending on how they're prepared, they can go anywhere from okay to biological weapon. That's my opinion.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's fermented, right? It's fermented fish.
Yeah.
And like when you get it, the can is all like.
And like every other thing here, there's like 100 different kinds, so it's almost impossible to generalize.
Okay, but is there like one that is?
There's the super stinky one that everyone has on Premier Surströmming Day, which is the first day of the access to surströmming for that year, and that one's the one that's designed to just knock you out on the floor. I mean, some people insist on opening that can outside their house.
Mm-hmm.
that kind of thing.
That's the big smell, right?
Yeah, and it's that same sort of rotting cabbage smell that they artificially add to natural gas, for example, so that you know that you can smell when there's a gas leak. I mean, it's that smell of rot, and that smell of rot in that surströmming is very strong. Yeah, from what I hear, it tastes a lot better than it smells, but I've never gotten that far.
Yeah, and I would have a hard time getting that far too. There's a what's that celebrity chef? He's my favorite celebrity chef, but I've been drinking. Jamie
Oliver?
Yes, yes, it is Jamie Oliver. And he did an episode where he just like Jamie does Dallas, Jamie does whatever. And he did one that Jamie did Stockholm. And so he hit on all the traditional Swedish foods from
or at least as many as he could. There actually are a lot of them.
yeah, as many as like he could. And so he did surströmming, and when they cracked the can, he almost threw up. But apparently, the flavor was so much milder than the smell.
Yep, that's what I'm told. That the smell's a bit of a red herring, and the taste is very nice. Yeah, I didn't even do that on purpose, but okay.
Yeah. Liz Weekly dropped by to say hi and is already gone. So, thank you, Liz. That's very nice of you to hit.
I have not had the lutefisk either. I don't need to eat anything that was cooked with lye. It just doesn't seem necessary.
Yeah, that's weird, right? Yeah. Swedish food. It seems to me that most Swedish food is based on a dare.
The really
Which is something I usually
stuff.
say about Scottish food, by the way. But Yeah,
the really exotic stuff for sure.
Yeah.
Did I hear you right? You said there's a show called Jamie Does Dallas?
No, it's no. I think I pulled that one out of the ether, but it was like Jamie cooks. What is it? Jamie. He did a bunch of different areas. There was a Mexico one, an Italy one, and there was Stockholm. And I watched it many, many times, and I can't find it on the YouTubes anymore, which is too bad. Because I would love. Here's the thing: I have this desire one day to make for my wife gravlax, which for someone as deathly allergic to salmon as I am would be an act of utter heroism. But like to do it like the traditional way.
I had some this morning. It was absolutely lovely.
Yeah, I really wish I could eat
my
salmon.
favorite way. I like it better than smoking. I like the salted way.
Yeah,
nice.
I
think I've mentioned this before, but what you need is the Lox box, which is a device that's designed to make it easier for you to do that.
Really?
Yep. It's basically a plastic container, a rock, and a one-way membrane bag. So you put the salmon in the one-way membrane bag, you stick it in the plastic box with the brine, which is going to be a lot of salt, a lot of sugar, and some spices. You put the rock on top, which gives it the pressure. Close the thing up, throw it in your fridge for a week, and then you've got Gravidlox a week later.
Yeah. But I think that the traditional way is to bury it, right?
Yeah. No, the one-way membrane bag is so that you can avoid the tricky parts of actually doing it the traditional way, which includes the burying and the food safeness that is designed to draw the moisture out without anything else getting in. That's the.
I also kind of feel that I think a lot about what kind of foods I would bring with me to the woods, and how much freedom I don't have because of my allergy to the pink fish, right? Because of that, I've never learned how to fish. I mean, I've done fishing as a kid, but I've never learned how to if I pull up a trout, I can't eat that, right? Rainbow trout, it's red or pinky or whatever. Can't eat it. If I pull up a bass, I don't know, is that a whitefish? I think it is, but I have no freaking idea. And so you think about a guy like Joe Robinette who's like, okay, guys, I'm out in the woods, and so for lunch I'm gonna just catch me some fish. He can catch whatever the hell he wants because he can eat any fish. you know. And I don't know if what I'm pulling up, what I would pull up if I was even skilled enough to fish.
I was going to say, if you fish in typical Canadian fresh waters, chances of you pulling up a pink-skinned fish is pretty low.
True.
The chances of pulling up a white fish is a lot better.
Absolutely true. Absolutely true. But like, I guess because of the allergy, I never learned.
At least in the East. I mean, in the West, maybe
West is a whole different story. But
kokanee, but in the East, it's going to be bass or perch, pickerel, pike.
And
Something with a P.
Yeah,
white flesh.
Like maybe I should have learned how to fish anyway. You know, we bought Camille a fishing kit for her birthday, birthday one year, Christmas. Wow, it was for Christmas. And the idea was to get her her step grandfather to teach her how to fish, but that was hilariously the year that the plague hit, so she hasn't used it yet.
But she's young. There's plenty of time.
Still young. Yeah. Yeah. Hi, Liz. Bye, Liz. Yeah, exactly. She was in to hit the thumbs up and gone to bed. Carol says, we used to catch herring here in Virginia and salt them down when the bones were done, fried it up for breakfast. I don't think we do herring fishing here in Quebec. I don't think. Hike with Mike loves salmon. Man, I hear that it's amazing. I would love to have. I envy you the freedom of being able to taste that. Simon says there's no more herring fishing here in Quebec. The last Quebec fisherman retired 14 years ago.
Wow.
Oh, Carusi's mother loved eating pickled herring. I think I would like smoked herring. I like stuff that's smoked. I do like stuff that's pickled, but it has to be kind of heavy on the dill and stuff, and I don't know if that... Like, I don't know if I've ever had pickled something that's not vegetation.
Well, dill sauce is one of the many surströmming options.
Is it?
Oh, yes.
That's not surprising, actually. Because surströmming is always herring, right?
Yes. Strömming is the herring.
Is herring, yeah. Simone says that everything moved just as I clicked. Oh, thelockbox.com.
So you can have a look at that if you want to see it.
Is this something I can buy here?
Well, you can definitely buy it in America, so I suspect you can probably buy it in Canada.
I will look for it to see.
Lockbox.
The Locks Box.
That's got a picture of Jess on it.
It's because it's made for me.
So you've never had a pickled egg, Jess?
I don't know if I have.
Have you ever had a pickle? Oh wait, that's
yeah. That's
is
vegetation. Yeah. Well, I mean, they're tiny cucumbers, right?
Really? God, you can't just grow pickles. That's why the pickles like plant never grow.
Yeah, exactly. The one and only Locks Box. It's the home locks maker. But so, I mean, this is for locks, but you can use that for gravlax anyway, right? Because it's just about the herbs and stuff.
In fact, they point out that it is not for smoking; it's for curing. So it's they're trying to unconfuse you. Although the Swedish word for salmon is lax. So
lax, yeah, that's
so
gravlax. Grave.
I mean, lax is very generally salmon in that sense.
Wow.
All right, one day we'll go fishing. Canadian. Because you're close enough to me that I can say that and think that one day it will actually happen. Yes, I want to show that because that looks blah blah blah. I'm going to start that again. Yes, I want to show that because it looks interesting. Jeez. Check that out. It's a folding buck knife, I think you said.
Interesting.
Right?
Looks like it started life as a bayonet.
Yeah. There's two of them here. Interesting. What kind of lock mechanism is that? That looks like something old. Because why would you even make that folding? Like, how much space are you saving? because that doesn't take up the entire blade, right? So it's not like you're folding it and throwing it in your pocket. It's like you're folding it and throwing it right back on your rifle, actually. But that's cool.
It's a bit weird because the blade is longer than the handle. So
yeah, exactly. It's like, what's going on here? So like you fold it and then you still stick it in a sheath. You know what this reminds me a lot of? And I don't really want to talk about this, but I'll make it really quick. I sometimes watch a channel called ForgottenWeapons.com or whatever, and he talks about like old boomsticks. And there was a time when there was a lot of really interesting experimentation in boomstick design happening, which we don't do anymore. They've hit on like the Mauser, the AR, the AK, and a few other real classics, and everything is just a variant on those. Like my Winchester is a variant on a Mauser. And I love how, if you go back in time, if you're talking about knives, axes, boomsticks, tools, people were trying new things. And nobody's going to try new things anymore, it seems, because there's just no market for it.
Well, for example, he recently did a video on a device with a thumb trigger. Mm-hmm. And apparently that's an idea that's been tried a few times, but it never really catches on, but people keep trying it now and then.
Yeah.
It was interesting.
I mean, that's all I'm going to say about it, but that knife reminded me of that channel. Tyler is here. Tyler, why aren't you getting your ass on screen so that we can have our whiskey together, man? Tyler. But, like...
He needs peer support.
Yeah. I sent him the link.
Pressure,
well, he'd be number 4. There's 3 of us here to support him.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like to have more than 4 people on screen at the same time, including me, because I feel that the conversation gets really unwieldy at that point with people talking over people.
Because that never happens otherwise.
Never. Ever.
Never.
Hike says, I keep saying hike, sorry dude. Mike says, halibut is a great white fish. Loved fishing and eating them when I went to Alaska. Yeah. Halibut. Are they the flatfish?
Halibut? I mean, they could be huge.
Yeah. Fab says, if you have to pickle a fish to make it tasty, it's better off as compost.
I think it's more of a I want to preserve this fish and eat it 3 weeks from now.
Yeah. 3 weeks or a month from now, yeah. Whoops. Everything shifted again. With the fold, you have a smaller knife, I believe, so you have 2 sizes of knife. Maybe? Oh.
Does the blade
it closes.
The blade folds, and then it folds again.
Yeah, no, the blade folds in, and then you just flip it over, and you've just got a slightly shorter knife, maybe. Maybe, okay. Dennis. How's it going, Dennis? Dennis, do you want in on the conversation? We're talking about stuff.
We're talking about Dennis now.
We're talking about now we're talking about Dennis.
Tyler, you don't hearing a lot.
Hold on. Okay, LT wants to come on to explain the knife. So I will let him... I hit the wrong damn keys again. Windows, you're such a jerk.
Yeah, if this turns into a knife conversation, then I'll leave and you can open it up to anybody else who wants to.
No, I don't want to. I don't want to keep it as a knife conversation. I just want him to come on to explain the knife, and then we'll move on from knives. Because my live streams have often enough turned into a knife convo that I think we've sort of done that. Okay, Dennis is on his phone right now. LT, I sent you the link so you can come on and talk about the knife. It's funny because I'm an axe guy way more than I'm a knife guy, but the conversation never devolves into
axes,
into axe conversation. Tyler, I will send you the link so you can come on after LT has told us about his knife.
I think the big difference is you could carry around knives just about anywhere, and they're always really useful. You don't carry an axe around everywhere with you. It's not.
But I want to.
Hey, Jesse, everyone.
Hey, so tell us about this knife.
I'm on my phone in my bed, but still dressed.
Yeah, we won't keep you on long. I just want you to tell us about that knife.
Yeah, it's a folding knife with a 12-inch blade that you can retract into the handles, and it becomes a 7-inch blade, and it's a lever locked. So you push the lever, and
careful.
The back of the knife.
Okay, so it's about turning it into a smaller knife, like was mentioned. Okay.
Wow.
And it goes in a sheet that looks like a.
Yeah, it looks very Scandinavian, actually.
Yeah, but it's German.
Huh.
Made in Solingen.
Oh, interesting.
Interesting. How old is that?
The makers. This is the original maker. Is 18 something to 1994.
Okay.
I suspect these one were made either 50s.
80s? Oh, okay.
94, maybe 50s up to 70s. I've seen one on eBay, like $100, and it had engraving on the side of the blade, so it might have been like later make, but this one seems to be quite old.
And
I would expect 50s.
Interesting design choice.
Yeah.
Yes. That's very cool.
Yeah, and I found out that that lever mechanism for locking mechanism has been used on many knives.
I've seen it before, but I never knew what it was called.
Yeah. My father had one like that when I was a young kid, but he broke it. So, and it disappeared. So I've never seen it again. But I thought it was interesting. I bought those. Well, I got those today. Those two, and I have a pair.
And where did you buy them from? Was this Couteau Quebec?
A neighbor. A neighbor that wanted to get rid of some boomsticks, so I got that, and those knives were with the cleaning kit.
Wow.
Yep. And I said, "Do you want a part?" He said, "Yep." And he basically gave them to me.
Nice. Well, tell you what.
That's tag, not plastic.
Huh. Come back on a little later, and we'll talk about the boomsticks in the green room.
Yeah, if you wish to.
Cool. All right.
Okay, so.
All right.
I'll join up later when you want me.
Okay.
See you all too.
All right. Bye-bye. Yeah. Okay, that knife is way cooler than I thought it was going to be. Like, not that I thought it was going to be, but I was trying to figure out why it was folding. But the reason is exactly what somebody sent.
That was an interesting knife. I've never seen anything like that before.
No. Well, Tyler's here. I'm going to refill my whiskey.
Your whiskey?
My whiskey. I'm going to refill my whiskey.
Wait, what do you got there, Tyler? Can you show us?
Everlower 16.
You get the trick to showing us is you got to tilt it back a little bit so it doesn't catch the glare.
You see, it's so hard when the label's so damn shiny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aberlour.
Let's see if I can.
I got the Aberlour 12.
Come on. Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever,
so
man.
This week, Tyler's like, suggest me a whiskey, and I said, well, the Aberlour 12 is really good. He says, how's the 16? I said, I don't know. I can't find it in Quebec. He said, cha-ching, I just bought it. So it's probably better than what I got here, but yeah. I'll just let that sit and open up a little bit.
That's nice.
So you doing anything special for the New Year's, Mr. Tyler?
Yeah, we're thinking about it. We're actually gonna have a lot of friends over. I'm never like a big New Year's guy. I really don't like the whole like, we're gonna stay up till midnight.
Yeah, I hate New Year's.
But we call it Skyrim dinner, where I go to the local. We have a market here that buys from a lot of farmers and stuff, and we've got a lot of dairy farmers and whatnot around. So I go there and I buy like some fancy cheese with garlic and cloves and stuff, and I make a big roast. And we call it Skyrim dinner, so we invite over a couple friends and we have dinner. That is so good. I am sorry.
It's not a real Skyrim dinner unless there are sweet rolls.
There will be some.
You have the
Sounds
Skyrim
nice.
cookbook?
I was
Mm-mm.
gonna say, what the hell are you guys talking about?
Skyrim.
Yeah, I was playing Skyrim like last night. What? How does that? How's that a
So
Skyrim
the
dinner?
big food themes in Skyrim are always like a giant wheel of
Cheese. Okay.
Oh shoot, I think I literally might only know this in French. Once let me try.
Yeah, it's a giant wheel of cheese. Yeah, I get it.
Get it in English. I guess farmer cheese.
Yeah.
Like I know fromage à frais, which is it. Literally, I think is just fresh cheese, but like that's not what I'm looking for. I think we call it farmer cheese in the U.S. But
My wife loves cheese, but she calls her favorite cheese stinky cheese because it's.
oh, she likes aged cheeses then.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, farmer cheese is like really, really soft and crumbly. I think it's almost only the curd and really just some spices. It's not really aged or any of that. But yeah, we make Skyrim dinner, so we get nice cheeses and make a big roast with potatoes and buttered breads and sweet stuff. Probably actually legit sweet honey rolls, so that'll be good. What about you guys? What are you doing for the new year?
Jess asked me earlier, and I'm not sure if he was joking or what. Is he frozen?
Even worse.
Ah,
There's two of you.
he's multiplying. Oh, there we go.
Even worse. My browser crashed.
You want some?
I don't know what I'm doing.
Okay. She wants my sweater.
We're live streaming New Year's Eve.
Nice.
We're starting at 10 o'clock our time, and we're celebrating every New Year's Eve across North America. So starting with Newfoundland and Labrador, our time at 10:30. Then it's 11, midnight, 1, 2, 3. And if we want to go to Alaskan time, which is 4 hours, then we'll be up till 4 a.m.
Oh.
Maybe. We'll see.
You could start at Saint Pierre and Miquelon. I think they're a half hour ahead of Newfoundland.
Are they?
Where is
Check
that?
It is a French island just south of Atlantic
Newfoundland.
Canada.
That seems so not helpful. Like a half hour ahead.
Half hour ahead of Newfoundland and Labrador?
I think so.
Hold on, I'm checking it out. Saint Pierre.
I thought time zones were an hour. Are they half hours?
There actually are quite a few time zones that are half hours.
Yeah.
Iran is a half hour off, for example.
Well, yeah.
What is?
Yeah, I don't know what it's called. Newfoundland and Labrador,
Iran.
like at 10:30 our time, Eastern Standard. I know, so that's at
It's-
midnight.
That's
It's a
why on the
half hour ahead of-
CBC it's always like 9 p.m., 9:30 in Newfoundland.
9:30 in Newfoundland.
Yeah, so it's like a half hour ahead of East Atlantic time zone. Yeah. Anyway, I got to make sure we get that right. We don't want to be celebrating New Year's Eve when everybody else is like, "What time is it where you are?"
Oh, here's something I'm doing for the new year. Growing my hair even longer. I think
That's effort
once-
free.
Once Steph cut hers, I think I was like, oh, I'll put some on. So it's
Is that a
nice,
New Year's
though.
resolution? That's a good one.
No, I just started growing it. I think I'm going to grow it until I hate it. I'm actually getting it turned silver on the 13th of January. I told my mother and my partner that if they paid for it, I'd let them color my hair. So
Silver
Hold
is a very cyberpunk choice.
it was the least offensive of the colors they offered.
Or a very old choice.
And with a red beard, like there's not a lot that's going to look very good, to be entirely honest.
Yeah.
That's
It-
well. That's
it's
a
rough.
that could be like a Skyrim theme.
Silver hair, red beard, and cheese.
Yeah, maybe. I used to be an adventurer like you.
My
Nobody's
beard's
finishing
Reddit.
it?
Somebody say it.
Somebody's, come on.
But then I killed every garden white run because I got sick of hearing it.
Fair enough, fair enough.
I thought you were gonna say.
But
Then
then
I
I
killed every
took an
garden.
arrow in the knee.
I thought you were gonna say I killed every garden white run because I accidentally killed a chicken and they came for me.
Oh, that's Riverwood. That's the Riverwood chicken.
Oh.
Everyone makes that mistake.
This conversation just got really, really exclusionary, I think.
Let's look at some comments. What do we have here?
Well, Tannenbaum just dropped a world time server link for about the unusual time zones.
For example, India is a half hour off, and Nepal is 15 minutes ahead of India, so they're 45 minutes off.
Oh,
How the hell did that happen?
It's Nepal. Guess there's a reason.
It's Nepal, dude.
unusual time zones. Oh, I see. It just occurred to me, I have one of those mouse pads that's the width of my desk, and it's got, like, the world map on it, and it also has time zones.
I want one of those mouse pads that are the width of the
clear
desk.
one of the 100 things on my desk, I could figure out this time zone.
A nice huge one.
Ah, yes. That's what I'm talking about.
Shine, really good actually. I would say go get one, because especially when I'm typing and I've got my wrists on a hard surface, it's nice to have a little squish with a neoprene there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I found that, Tyler, I found the edge of mine. It's got a, I'm not sure what the edge is, but it rubs my wrist a little raw. So I have to put something over top of it, but
you have to wear gloves.
Otherwise, I like it.
The ones that Corsair makes have like a really silky thread for the edge.
This one's made in China. You can tell because of all the spelling mistakes, and I'm not joking at all.
Okay, so I have a tarp that I bought from China that I cannot use because it was like, there were two versions, like an OD green, and then there was one that was all camouflage with like all these military these quasi-military symbols all over it, like United States Marine Corps, but it's not quite the logo. Like the world is a little different, and like B-list copies of a lot of military logos. And I was going to do a video on it saying, look, it looks cheesy, but it's a 10 by 10 tarp for $20. Let's see how it. And then there's a freaking swastika, like eagle swastika under it. Boom, right? Like I was like,
wow,
that ain't gonna
wow,
work.
what? I guess I'm not shooting this video. And then I was going to shoot a video about why I wasn't shooting. Like, hey, look. But then I figured, you know what? I'm not even going to touch it.
I thought you were going to say that the spelling mistakes were so bad it just undermined your confidence in the product entirely.
I would rather that.
Which has happened to me on occasion. You look at the instructions, you're like, anyone who could write instructions that are this bad, how could the product possibly be any good?
Like it's a part. The Nazis were not the main enemy of the Chinese. They were having their biggest problems with the Japanese. I get that symbol does not loom as large for them as it does here. But when I saw that, it's funny how certain things, like there's a certain N-word that gets thrown at my wife and my daughter every now and again, that like just the sound of it sort of stops your heart for a sec. And we are far away from World War II, but seeing that still kind of like, what?
How is that still? How is this still a problem?
I'm amazed you still get that. Like that's
what, the N-word?
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow, that's
big city,
people
man.
Are insane.
A lot of stupid people in a big city.
Well, Toronto's a big city too, but I don't know. Maybe Toronto's also like the most diverse city in the world. So
yeah, statistically it is.
Wow, I'm shocked to hear that, and saddened as well.
Well, it's funny because my little girl does not look like there's any black in her at all. Like you have to know what her mother looks like to know, because she is as pasty white as I am.
She looks like a little curly-haired Jest, actually, is what she looks like.
yeah, she really does. But this kid who threw it at her, he knew.
That's
and he knows her. They're in class, and he's got anger issues, and he was throwing the word at every dark-skinned person in class. And
that's dumb kid shit.
Yeah. Well, he's got issues. Like he's got real issues. He was acting out of a place of rage at that point. And so when I went to pick her up at school, she sort of came out looking grumpy. I was like, "What happened?" And so she cried, and I sat there and I held her, and then we came home, and then I told her jokes all the way home to make her feel better. And then she told her mom, but of course her mom is used to this. So she's like, "Oh, so they're going to you too now, right?" Anyways, this is getting political, kind of. I don't think it is. I think it's.
I will bring us to a better place. Worry not.
Good man.
I've been needing a bench upgrade, as like every one of us always constantly does, no matter how cool of a bench we build.
I have a pretty cool bench.
All right.
I have a
This
really
is
cool...
your channel, and you filmed enough videos at your bench that, like, whatever. Who cares? Go away. take a couple more drinks or something, man.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, Canadian, you're right. It is the parents. Absolutely. But yeah. So I wanted to know more about your bench, actually, and I was gonna tick, but I just no time. It looks to me like that bench is built into a set of shelves.
It is. So I bought a set of freestanding shelves that have little tilt feet that are meant to stand their own weight. This one's rated for 1,500 pounds, which is good because I have a lot of steel that I put on this thing. But over the top...
screenshot you want to share, by the way?
I don't know if I have one that I can just pick up and share, but...
Well, Jess, you have the picture from the live stream.
Yeah.
You could do that. Yeah, that would work. You can go ahead and put that one up. I don't think there's anything. But what I did is I ended up building the bench surface out of, I think it's 1 1/4 inch hard red maple ply. Good stuff that won't warp over time. But I put, this isn't in the photo, but I put an outlet, a 6 outlet surge protector connected to a pretty beefy garage outlet, so I won't be tripping anything. Yeah, there you go.
There it is.
That's just the bench surface. There's no front lip on that one, but I think you can get the idea.
Now, a question I had about
looks good. Looks nice and strong.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I had a question for you, Tyler, about that. How much space do you have between that bench and the shelf up top? Because I would need more space on that because I like to lean over my. But the thing is, my bench is for woodworking. This one tells me you're doing more like metal work or leather work, or like you're not standing over it and planing the way I would be over my bench.
Yeah, so I have a separate surface I do all of that on. Looks are deceiving here, though. I actually have 24 inches of depth from the front to the back of that lip.
Good size for a bench.
I want to say there's 32 and a half, something like that, inches of space from the bench surface to the next shelf up. So, a top of a person, enough length to lean over.
You got the space. Okay.
Which is really nice. I mean, I've got enough room to move my clamp lamp wherever I want it around and do stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which is great. I actually recently got back into working on airsoft guns.
Okay.
Which was not nearly as fun when I was a kid as it is now. Like now we have like 34 MOSFETs we put in these things, and it's insane.
Right.
Anyway, now that I've gotten back into
along.
it, I'm working with soldering irons and gearboxes and shimming gears and doing all this fun stuff. But dang nabbit, I needed a bigger bench.
Is this a nail gun you've got here?
Close. It's a brad nailer, so 18 gauge instead of 16 or 12. But yeah,
I have an 18 gauge, but it's battery powered.
I'll be honest, I've used both. It's night and day for me. I far over prefer the pneumatic one.
I think I would as well, but I don't know enough about what I'm looking for to just buy a compressor. I know that my dad has some very clear ideas about what makes a good compressor. I mean, he worked for many years as a carpenter and stuff, and finishing and blah blah blah. So he's like, get something big.
Yeah, you don't need something. If you're going to be running like a brad nailer or like a 18 gauge stapler, you need something big. Yeah. My honest suggestion is start with a small compressor, and if you find that you cycle back on too soon, just add a reservoir tank. You don't need a beefy compressor. Like, dude, like we're running like air tools like this big. Come on, we're doing like 70 to 90 psi. Just get a small compressor motor. If it's not enough air, get a bigger tank and hook it up later. Like,
no. Anyways,
I
for now,
afford the
yeah, no, we sure as hell can't. But I mean, I've got this battery powered one, so it's what I'm going to use. I like the understanding between the missus and I was that this would be an interim solution while I researched what we really wanted. right?
That was a little tough of a drink of whiskey there. That one got me.
Oh, did it?
Yeah. Well,
You gotta take small sips.
I know. I keep forgetting, like, hey, take it easy. But,
Yeah, no.
it's a really, really good whiskey, so it's easy to be like, oh, I want some more of that, and then go. Yeah. You got me into an expensive hobby, and I resent you for that. But this is also wonderful, and I'm really happy that you recommended me this.
I will take the resentment.
It's like honey and woodworking in a bottle, man. This stuff is great.
And the one you've got is better than the one I've got.
I promise you, if I could get you one, I would, but borders.
Yeah, borders. Charles W. is here. Nice to see you. Sorry I'm coming in late. He just returned from BOGO. Well, you're here. That's all that matters. No judgment. You're welcome anyway.
Ian the Web Lord said, awesome bench. Thank you, Ian. I had been thinking about making it for a while.
Yeah, it looks very cool. And I like the lighting. Well, I don't know. You don't have your final lighting set up on there, do you?
No, I'll actually have 3 different clamp lamps and then 1 LED strip, one of those 3300K or whatever the temperature is. The clamp lamps are for soldering and working on electronics. It's really hard to see pads sometimes when you're all bent over.
Yeah, I got it.
But yeah, it's all right. When you've had enough time to think about what you want more than you've had money to build what you want, it's easy to just kind of execute sometimes. So
I missed the picture. Can I see it, please?
Yep.
Would you mind?
Yep. Wait, hold on. Let me.
I in fact do mind. Exclusively, Russell may not see this.
I like a good bench.
Yeah. It's not a woodworking bench, Russell. It's more like a soldering and maybe reloading bench kind of thing.
Okay, you know what that reminds me of? God, I was watching. I think the channel's called Make Art Now, and he's got a bench set up so that he can do a lot of filming on it. So he's got a mount for his camera, and he can move it back and forth and forward and down, and he's got lighting, and it's just beautiful for showing what he's working on as he's doing it.
That's the other thing. Jess has been telling me forever to film my leatherworking. This bench has... I'll be putting... Oh my god, dog. That's my headphone cord. I'll be putting on... anyway...
nutritious insulation that your dog likes.
What was I saying? Something about film? I'll be putting on one of those little, bracketed mounts for a phone camera. I'll be putting that up there. Maybe I'll think about filming a couple videos. We'll see.
Nice. Very nice. Thank you. Thank you, Jess.
No problem.
You're welcome. I'm the one who made it.
Yeah, but I put the picture on screen.
You're right. I even tried to keep him from seeing it. I'm sorry, Russell. I'll send you a drink of the whiskey through the mail, I promise.
Just throw it at the screen. That's fine.
No, these bottles are way too expensive to throw at the screen.
This right here is why they should be working on, ways to send stuff, over IP.
We need a scotch over IP.
We need taste bulbs so that you can like put your drink up in it, and then we all be like, "Oh yeah, that tastes great."
What are the little plastic glycol things that we
or at least smell-o-vision, right?
Smell-o-vision.
No, I want taste-o-vision.
We need whiskey Orbeez that you can safely eat.
Oh man, my kids got so many Orbeez. I think whiskey Orbeez is what I would require to put me over the edge.
What is an Orby?
They're
these weird little plastic
balls.
Hydra something. They absorb a lot of water and they swell up and get smooth and shiny.
Yeah.
But they feel nice, they're squishy afterwards.
10 of them, and I just made the exact same look.
What?
Yeah.
They're after they swell up, they're maybe 3/8 of an inch in diameter.
Yeah,
they're
tiny.
little squishy.
Orbeez.
What are they for?
They're just kids play with them. I don't know.
Throwing
what they
at each other, putting in slingshots, squishing for sensory reasons.
I just heard something upstairs. I'll be right back, guys. Be extra entertaining, okay?
All right. Tenenbaum, you can dance first, then I'll go, then Russell.
I got nothing.
All right, Russell, it's your turn.
I gotta do my.
Oh, jeez. What did they put in your whiskey, my guy?
I'll tell you what. You ever play City of Heroes? They had the best dances.
What is City of Heroes? Is like, should I know?
No.
Here, little one. You don't know? Come on. You're okay.
City of Heroes is a massively multiplayer superhero game, and it's free now to play, which is wonderful. It came out years ago. Wow, my God, many years ago, and
Is
then
it like
just
PC?
kind of it died off, and then somebody started up a free server, and now you can play it for free. It's still fun.
Oh, I've seen this game. Yeah, I've known about this. A couple of friends that way back used to play this. They said it was like a Marvel knockoff or something like that.
Well, the stupid thing was you couldn't kind of create your favorite superhero because they would squish that. They're like, nope, you can't be the Hulk. You can't make a character that looks like the Hulk. You can't call yourself the Hulk. And it was
That's
for
funny.
like across the board. You couldn't pretend to be Spider-Man. You can pretend to be anybody.
So you had to come up with some basically obscure hero that they didn't know about.
Well, and the power subsets were
Arm
very
off,
very
boy.
specific. You could be a blaster. You could shoot things. You could be a tank. You could be a crowd control.
You say that, Tyler, but that the detachable kid was in the recent Suicide Squad, and
The
his arms
detachable
come
kid? What
and his
is
arms
that?
come off.
I'm gonna Google this. What on earth?
What are you on about?
The This is what I'm looking at.
What the hell did I miss?
TDK for short.
Jess, it was one of those moments where the conversation went. Pew!
Okay.
Oh my
We're
god!
going in this direction.
The stock image of him just with his arms separated is the first thing that comes up on Google. It's like these cheesy little shoulder sockets that are just like there. Oh my gosh! I guess thank you for the little bit of joy that gave me. It was pretty funny.
My pleasure.
Jess, you have a glass of scotch, and you're eating what now?
Cheese.
Come on, man. Go get a peppermint stick. Do it right.
You know what? Last night I had some of this because I had been leaving this Aberlour as a, when someone is over kind of whiskey. Because I don't drink a lot of 40% anymore. Like, this is 63.7%, right? But I had these after eights, and so I tried your concept. It's not quite the same as a peppermint stick, but yeah, it goes really well with a peppermint and chocolate combo.
I think it's just because it's so sweet and mellow. Having a little bit of mint in there, kind of, it's a good pairing. It's nice.
Bushcraft Dad, hi. Squishy balls sounds wrong.
If only he knew about the first time you actually said the ball sack thing. Not sack, not ball sack, not sack. Great, that's on stream forever now.
Yeah.
What'd you put in my whiskey?
Nobody knows.
So
Probably,
I think this
whiskey.
story's
There's
hilarious.
probably whiskey in your whiskey.
You might be right. Hold on. What are the ingredients in this? I think the story's funny, so I'm going to tell it. Nutsack is a brand of like haversack and outdoor bags that make really nice stuff. It's all like wax, canvas, and leather. I still have one. I've had it forever. I take it out every time I go to the woods. It carries like my knives and my water bottles and stuff. Anything I don't want, getting soaked if I'm in wet weather or whatever. But I'd gotten Jess on the subject of haversacks for a couple of episodes in a row at this point.
Yeah, because I still don't have one.
I was supposed to make you one. I'll get on that. I promise.
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
Where's
Is
my
that
haversack?
French?
Dude?
Is that French for purse?
No, it's American for awesome bag.
Sure, it is.
If you called it a man purse, you wouldn't be that far off.
No, you really wouldn't be. It's pretty much what it is. It's just a little bit.
That's a Seinfeld thing. Officer, that man stole my men's European handbag.
But yeah, they make really nice stuff. Just as showing it. So
why are they so expensive? It's just
I've
a
been
bag.
waiting for him to like slip up and say something stupid in
I
this
think
episode.
the answer to that is because they can be.
Yeah, that's probably why.
Wax canvas.
Well, it's
is
like a
always
purse, right?
expensive, I find.
So that makes sense. I mean, if you
Wax
call it a
canvas
purse,
is
you can charge any kind of money for it.
I'm looking for their straight up like haversacks. I'm coming up against for crying out loud.
You do not like their web design, and perhaps
he's
you have
having trouble.
I don't.
I will story tell.
You story tell.
I've been waiting for him to like slip up and say something really, really funny. And this was, oh my god, this must have been 2 or 3 years ago now, man, right? That was a while ago.
Yeah.
This is when I was like first really like, okay, I want my partner to be with me for the rest of my life. This woman's great. So she's hanging out with me. She's in the house at night, and I'm still typing. I don't think I was even like a moderator. I don't even think I had his number yet. I'm just like typing away, and it's like, oh, we should talk about haversacks again. And I brought up the brand, and Jess finally says it. He's like, Tyler, you've got a nutsack, don't you? And Nick hears me from like the other room, like, yes, he said it, he said it. She doesn't know who Jess is. She just hears me like freaking out at my laptop screen after like an hour of silence, screaming about Jess said it and nutsack, and like in between my excitement, she has no idea what's going on. Yeah. But God, that was probably the single. I mean, I've seen sports teams win and people get like thousands of dollars. I don't care. I would rather lose all the money in the world just to watch Jess have that moment again. It's just so funny.
I just imagine, go!
Yeah! I mean, you would have thought like Manchester won the cup or something. It was incredible. I was so proud.
Tyler, now you have the task of going back and finding that live stream and telling us what it was. Not right now, but I gotta know.
Good night, Serge. Serge is out. Yeah. If it seems that like a lot of their products have sort of switched into laptop bags, though.
I think that's just what's selling. I mean, there's not a whole lot of bushcraft market out there for buying haversacks, but I think if you get something laptop size, it's a little more convenient.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think Hidden Woodsman makes a haversack as well, right?
Oh yes.
It's not as nice. Look, I love like wax
Cordura is his thing. I mean, if you buy his haversack, you're going to have it for the rest of your life.
Yeah, I have his Dayrock Scout, which is like the super affordable Dayrock. Did you know that one? Am I going to throw this up on screen?
Please do. I don't even know this backpack.
I can't find my cursor. Oh, there it is. Hold on.
All this money and all this time in the Hackintosh just to lose your cursor.
No. That's an old man thing. I do that. I spend like 20 minutes a day trying to find the cursor.
Well, as soon as you got multiple screens, look, as soon as you can afford multiple screens, you have this problem. Okay.
Here's the thing. I got a 27-inch monitor. One of the.
I was going to say, just the kids these days are just buying huge monitors. They don't have this problem.
Right.
No, it's still a problem. I've got pretty big monitors. It's still a problem.
That's what I mean. Is I have a big monitor so I can see a lot of stuff, but my cursor's tiny. So I'm like, where the hell is my cursor at?
You can make it bigger, but anyway.
But that takes time, and I have to go through the menus and the settings. And
I hear you.
I'd rather just do things the hard way for years on end.
It's bullshit.
Good man.
Yeah.
Good man. Always do it the hard way. Okay.
It is, Russell.
Wait, previous designs. All right, because I don't see the Dayrock Scout on there.
Oh, there it is.
No,
Dayrock.
that's the full-on Dayrock. So the Dayrock is essentially this, but it doesn't have the padded straps.
It's a backpack.
Is that an ATAX camo?
Look at the pricing: $15 to $270.
Yeah, the $15 is the Velcro panel. If you want to add a Velcro panel,
but some of those printed corridors are very expensive.
Yeah. Because once you're into like Tiger Stripe and stuff, I don't know about Tiger Stripe, but whatever the USMC design that's based on CADPAT, that's trademarked.
Marpat.
Yeah, Marpat. So that's trademarked, right? So you're paying big money for that.
I actually don't like Marpat.
I have some camo stuff, but I will not wear or use a camouflage that is currently being used by National Defense or the Department of Defense.
You're the first person I've come across who does the same thing I do. I don't like wearing politically associated camos. So even when we do like Milsim and airsoft stuff, ATAX IX is actually what I wear because no one uses it.
Yeah, why why would you equate current military usage of something to political?
Oh no, I mean like literal political bodies, like nations.
Yeah, for in my case, because I have family who are active members, I like in the States you have this whole thing about what's it called, stolen
Oh,
Stolen
stolen
valor.
valor.
stolen
Yeah.
valor and stuff. We don't really have that concept up here, but because I know people who wear current Canadian camouflage professionally, I just I don't really buy into the whole stolen valor thing. I guess because we don't really have that big a problem with it up here, but I don't want to wear something that people who are currently in danger wear professionally. So I will wear historical
But why?
camo,
I don't get
not
why.
not a current one.
Like 99 people out of 100, if not more, would not recognize the fact that the camo you're wearing is the same as the current military camo.
Yeah, that's true.
And even if somebody came along and said, "Hey, you're wearing the same camo," you'd be like, "Yeah, I am. I'm not military, but yes, I like the design."
I think for me, it's less that they would know and more that I know, and I feel weird about it.
Yeah, for me, it's all about how I feel about it. Although apparently our camo is being changed to multicam.
So, yeah, either Scorpion OCP or Multicam, right? One of the two.
Yeah, which seems ridiculous, but whatever.
So would you-
That's pedantic.
Is historical stuff okay? Like,
Yeah.
I don't mind historical stuff. I think it's fine because again, I'm not associated with a body where, like Jess said, someone's professionally in danger wearing that.
Yeah.
Like I'm not. I don't know. It's almost like equating myself with that, which I'm not. I'm not a professional contractor, nor do I work for the government trying to save people. So
See, I would have taken a different stance on that and say I'm so proud of our military. You know, I don't mind at all wearing the same kind of camo or using the same kind of gear. You know,
it's funny
would you- I
'cause-
mean, well,
I actually have my combat gear from when I was in the Air Cadets still sitting over there because Tyler, Canada didn't do camouflage until kind of recently.
are you guys plain colors then, like OD or something like that?
It's essentially all of. Let me go and get it. It's really right there. Hold on a second.
So the gear, Russell, I use a lot of the gear just because it's handy. Like even when I'm working, I actually have a dump pouch, and sometimes I wear a carrier belt. Well, all that doesn't bother me. It's specifically uniform camos. Like I would never wear an ATAX cut in multicam or in Marpat specifically. Like I would wear a backpack or a hat or any of that. I actually have boonies and camos, but like specifically uniform camos.
So this is what
Yeah,
we wore.
okay.
Like even Desert Shield or Desert Storm or whatever the hell they called it. You know, it was this kind of olive green.
Yeah, that looks like our Vietnam era stuff.
Yeah. And the thing is, it was really. I was wearing this once about 6 meters from someone, and I was standing in the woods. Oh, my name isn't on this anymore. What the hell happened there? Anyways, whatevs. And he didn't see me. But, NATO had decided that we had to go camo, so they did. They did the whole CAD-PAT thing, and it made us some money because the U.S. Marines said we want that too. So I sent a bunch of people down from Ottawa.
Well, it was good.
well, just maybe this conversation should be taken offline. But I have one more question for you guys, you and Tyler. It's like, where are we talking about wearing this stuff? Like, are you talking about walking through a mall, or are you talking about walking through a bush? Like, you don't want to be recognized in the uniform that's current, right? So
Right.
where are we talking about?
Well,
I would say mostly in public, but I just don't buy them anyway.
I just when I used to go camping, we would just we're going home, and we'd just pile into the car, pack up our stuff, pile into the car, and go home without changing out of our stuff. I don't know. I haven't even thought about this in so long, Russell. That it's been a philosophy of mine for so long that I haven't had to sort of examine the reasons. Like it's
Okay. So I've been in I used to go hunting near CFB Petawawa. And you go into a grocery store in the area, and there's always military in there, doing their grocery shopping, and they're often dressed in, whatever their fatigues or whatever military dress or whatever it is. Yep. I would never be caught dressing the same as those people in the same locations they are in. I wouldn't want anybody to confuse me with active military. So in that situation, yeah, I would never do it. But if I was just wandering around the bush around my cabin,
it's way less important then. That's for sure.
I can totally understand not wanting to be confused with like active military for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think you've got a grasp of it. I think we're just less effective at communicating than we'd like to be.
Yeah. No, Tyler, shut up, man. We're both amazing, okay?
God. Yeah, you're right. All right, put down the beer, Russell. Whatever you've got. Is it a Coke?
Talking right now.
What kind of whiskey did you put in my whiskey? It is a beer. Okay.
I'm drinking a beer that made Bud wiser, so it should make me smarter anytime soon.
He's like 5 beers in. He's not getting any smarter.
I'm not awful. Getting smarter. This isn't working. God damn it.
More.
You sound like so many people I know that I really wish would stop drinking.
You're such a brat. Hi.
Blue-haired cutie, what are you doing?
Jeez, that was a shot across the bow. I'm going to get another beer.
All right.
Thank you. Hey. You want peppermint stick?
I guess she didn't hear us say hi.
Oh, they said hi.
It's okay.
I love her little bubbly voice. That brightens my shit right up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. I told her today, I think early in the car. When I wake up, I'm a really cuddly, sweet person, so it kind of gets me more brownie points than I really deserve. But I told her in the car this morning, if falling asleep were a person, it would be you.
The missus and I have been trying to get the time to rewatch the Lord of the Rings series, because when we were still new, the Lord of the Rings series was like her thing. Like she owns the extended editions and everything.
Me too.
But here's the thing, man. We will watch. We also watched all of Stargate SG-1, which was not a great show by any stretch, but once it sort of got its legs, sort of the interplay between the characters was worth watching. But man, good night, Bushcraft Dad. Thanks for hanging out with us, and have yourself a good night.
Talk.
Wait, I got to put that on screen. That's worth being on screen.
Cheers, Bushcraft Dad. Have a good night.
But man, we'll put something on, and 5 minutes in, unless it's a real red letter night, she's asleep.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I relate. Just
especially, dude, if you're 5 minutes into the extended edition of Fellowship of the Ring,
only 9.5 hours to go.
She dropped me like, I got your back, baby. We're gonna watch this. Okay, we're gonna watch this, right? Yeah, we're gonna watch this. Click. Wow, I got a long time to be alone watching this now.
So I don't think I've shared this particular thing about me. There are two. Well, I guess I have shared this, but I haven't shared this level of detail. There are two specific areas of my life that are really, really important to my formative years and what made me like the imaginative, outdoorsy. The things about life that get me really excited come from these areas. The first was the Howard Pyle Robin Hood. It was the first Robin Hood to kind of get scrubbed of all the really dark stuff, and then get compiled into like a kid's book. And then the other is like The Hobbit and Aragon and Lord of the Rings.
Yep.
I have 5 copies of that Robin Hood. I collect them. And then I have 2 signed copies of books by Christopher Paolini, who wrote Aragon, and then a full volume of Lord of the Rings and like a bajillion copies of The Hobbit. But like you were saying, Nick and I, when we were very new, we also used to watch Lord of the Rings all the time. We didn't watch Stargate. We watched Star Trek Next Gen with Picard.
Okay.
It was our favorite thing. We actually still binge watch that probably once or twice a year. It's pretty. I'm just interested to hear that you and your missus did the exact same thing, because I made her like film after film do the extended edition with me, and we haven't redone it yet.
But like, they weren't even my discs; they were hers. Like, she's all about Lord of the Rings, which is weird because, Lord of the Rings doesn't have the same. It doesn't hold the same seminal place in Francophone literature as it does in English literature. And she read Lord of the Rings as part of an English course in either cégep or university, right? So like, she didn't have the connection to it as a kid the way I did, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like as a kid, I had connection to, The Hobbit, The Lord of the Rings, and whatever that sort of mean-spirited sort of Christian overtones one was. The Lion, the Witch, and the...
Narnia.
Yes, Narnia. Right? Like in my house, story time happened at supper time. Right? We got through the entire Narnia series over a lot of supper times. And then Lord of the Rings and stuff.
I don't know if C.S. Lewis was going for that.
I don't know if I get that from Narnia either. What makes you say mean-spirited?
I don't know. It's been a long time, but I don't know. There was something. I don't mean like overtly mean-spirited, but there was just something in it that left me with a negative.
There's a bit of maybe a brutality in it in a way.
Maybe that's what I'm looking for. But the thing is, when we were reading this, I was of an age where the symbolism behind Aslan dying and blah and all this blah 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 blah. I was not brought up Christian, so I did not recognize that as that kind of symbolism, right? I was brought up Unitarian, so we have no problem with Christians, but it's not a body of knowledge that I grew up with. In Unitarianism, this is so boring. I'll make this really, really short. In Unitarianism, it's up to the local congregation or church or fellowship whether or not they are Christian. And the Montreal Church is non-Christian. Free faith religion,
It's less about doctrine, more about, I guess, dogma would be close, but not quite.
They make big bones about it being a humanist religion,
sort of a do that which is good kind of deal.
Yeah, exactly.
I can get behind that.
So to me, Narnia has always sort of had a slightly negative thing for me because I never understood what the symbolism was, but it seemed darker than Lord of the Rings, which it sure as hell ain't, right?
It's funny that you say that. So I was brought up very, very Christian. We won't get into that right now. That's kind of a can of worms, but needless to say, that should have been like a no-brainer to me, but because it came off more as enforcement than it did as, I guess, like rearing would be the word I would say. Right. It came off more like enforcement, like legalistic kind of stuff. I didn't care. Like that symbolism didn't hit me because it didn't matter because it was so literal and so legalistic all the time. Absolutely. So Narnia actually acted as an escape for me because the character type I saw in that book was like a very loving guiding figure compared to what I knew. So
I see.
I saw it in a completely different light, even though it were the same characters.
Yeah, I get it. I just want to say good night, Sam Jackson, and hello, Outdoors with Big Matt. We're not going to be on for that much longer, but this conversation has gotten weirdly interesting.
11:21. Holy smokes, man.
Yeah, I know. Jeez. Good thing we're all on vacation.
I'm not. I go back to work tomorrow.
Oh, do you?
I've been working this week, man. Yeah. I started work again on Monday.
Nice. I want to say I love the fact that your wife is really into Lord of the Rings. That's awesome. Fantastic.
And there's something about, I think because she discovered it as an adult. Like for me, it was just something that's always been there from my childhood. Like it's part of the background. your literature background in English, whereas she had discovered it really as an adult, and so she knows a whole lot more about it than I do because she discovered it as a school subject, you know. So, anyways, our plan is to at some point rewatch it all. But as I said, I think in your Discord, Russell, she's an extended edition girl, so we're gonna have to get the kids to bed early that night or those nights.
Yeah.
I was
Imagine.
when I look at the films, they kind of upset me. I read the books and like really, really, really loved them. I actually have what's the one his nephew put together? Stories of Middle Earth or something like that. It's a little paperback with blue cover, but it's just a bunch of really interesting background stuff. It's like a companion piece to the Silm, I guess, the Silmarillion.
Yep.
So I really love that. But when I watch the films, there's a lot of stuff that I think got like scrubbed of its deep emotional value. Good example, when Gimli goes into the mines of Moria, right, and finds out his cousin is dead. In the books, that is a gut-wrenching scene. Like there's several pages of Gimli like weeping and being completely destroyed. Like this was someone he cared about. In the films, it's like 30 seconds of Gimli crying, and then he goes orc slaying because he's the comic relief character, so he can't get that sad.
I don't allow that kind of thing to upset me because I have such low expectations of movies made from books. There's a lot of stuff. Okay, I think about this a lot when it comes to Star Wars. Okay, because there are a lot of geeks who are very upset about the Rey trilogy, the ending of the Skywalker saga and all that, and they're all like blah blah blah. And I realize that specific to Star Wars, it doesn't seem to be as big a deal for Lord of the Rings fandom, but in Star Wars fandom, the biggest problem Star Wars has is guys like me, white Gen Xers who were there opening week in 1977 as I was, and who don't want you funking with the original trilogy, right? They want, these guys don't like it if you've got main characters who are not white unless it's Lando Calrissian. They don't like too many women. They don't like blah, blah, blah. And, like, the fandom is not on purpose, but acting against the best interests of keeping the series going. And so what that has done to me is it's made me realize that I'm not a big enough geek to care. If the movies are are fun, that's a plus. If they respect canon 90% of the way, I'm okay with it. And I don't expect the retelling of the original 3 movies over and over and over again.
We could do a whole episode about the adaptation of novel to film. It's a very difficult thing.
We absolutely can. It's hugely difficult. And like, if you look at something like oh man, I'm thinking about something that I can't remember the name because I've been drinking all night.
Who wrote it, my guy?
I don't bloody remember.
Ah!
Oh, okay, but here's a good, not what I was looking for, but Foundation. Anyone who's read a lot of sci-fi?
I've been watching the TV series.
I don't have Apple Plus, so I'm wondering how the hell they're doing it.
There's a TV series?
Yeah.
Based on
Yes,
Foundation?
they're about 10 episodes in. The first season's over. I won't say too much because I don't want to ruin it for anyone, but I will say that if you're the kind of person who wants the events to be identical and the characters to be identical, you will be disappointed. But if you are interested in the feel of it and the way it looks and some of the big ideas, I think they're doing pretty well.
Dune. How long did it take for them to do a good Dune? I haven't seen.
So that's a wonderful example because now Dune has been done 3 times, and this third one, I would argue, in terms of getting a sense of the feel of Herbert's books and what's important, is the best by far. It's just, I mean, I'm looking forward to the next chapter because the first chapter was wonderful.
Well, we now know that there's going to be a
3
next
times?
chapter because the numbers were good enough. Yeah, there was the original film back
Yeah.
in
This Sci-Fi
80s.
Network did a TV adaptation that was long and silly, I think is the right word for it.
I liked aspects of it, though. What I
Okay.
liked about that, which sort of everyone forgets, is that Paul Atreides started off as a whiny upper-class brat, and then he did develop into a hardened sort of war hero, which I liked. Very flawed, very freaking long.
It had its strong points, but it was so silly at some points that the actors couldn't keep from laughing at what they were doing.
Yeah, I would like to
But,
point out that LT Survival threw Dune into the circle pretty early.
But the new Villeneuve film is beautiful.
The big thing about film and novelism is that for a film to be really good, right, the people producing it have to have a really rich vision of that film. And very, very rarely is the author of a book multi-talented enough and apt enough at producing to bring that same vision over. So I think when you get things like Ridley Scott films, right? Like Ridley Scott did not produce books.
Yeah.
Ridley Scott did films, and they were fan-friggin-tastic.
Yeah.
In my opinion. But if you were to per se try and transfer some of his idea to and be like, hey, go to a novel, that'd be terrible. That would be horrible. Ridley Scott, like Blade Runner, amazing movie. Ridley Scott doing a book for Blade Runner.
So for example, The Last Duel is based on historical material. It might even be based on a novel. I'm not sure. That's Ridley Scott's latest. Which, by the way, which is a good view, by the way. It's the historical event is the last formal duel fought between two Frenchmen over honor, and the film gives you each of their perspectives and another person's perspective on what actually happened.
I would believe you, but I
it's
think
quite interesting. It's an interesting film.
That's you know what though. That's very specific.
That's what I mean, though. I think like
that's an art. That's got to be an art film, right? Right. It's got to be an art film.
Yeah, it's A-list Hollywooders, though. I mean,
I do want to say that it is now 11:30, and this conversation is probably more interesting to us than it is to the people watching.
That's probably true.
So let's take this to the green room. I'm going to say to everyone who's watching, thank you for your patience and for hanging out to the very, very bitter end. Thank you for coming in when I started this very slightly late because I had forgotten that it was Tuesday because, hey, vacation time. Between now and the next time I see you, please be safe, be sane, be healthy, and be kind to one another. Good night.
MP soup.
Hey, doll.
Hey, doll.